Hi everyone and welcome to Fresh from My Garden. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of using moss sticks in gardening, and also we are going to be making one moss stick from scratch. So we are going to do a DIY moss stick at home, and also I'll share some important tips on why these moss sticks are helpful in gardening and help our plants grow really well and beautiful. So, moss sticks are basically a support system that we give for many plants, and they are available in the market to purchase, or we can also easily make one at home. So, with plants like Pothos, Philodendron, and Monstera variety of plants that need some sort of support so that they can grow well and look very thick and beautiful, we need these moss sticks. Here I'm going to show you one of the plants in our garden and show the difference when it is growing well on a moss stick and how there is a change when it is not given enough support. So in this pothos plant, the leaves are really thick and lush and beautiful. So you can see these fresh leaves on the pothos plant. But as it grows towards the end of the moss stick, you can see that these leaves are totally limp and don't have too much of life in them. So the main point behind this is lack of support. And though we have given a little string that is supporting the new leaves, it still doesn't have enough support for these aerial roots to attach onto so that they can grow really well. With plants like Monstera, Pothos, or Philodendrons that have a lot of aerial roots on them, they need to get some sort of moisture through these aerial roots so that it will help these plants grow well and produce bigger leaves and beautiful foliage. So, in this plant, you can see that it is producing new leaves, but as it nears towards the end of that support stem or the stake, the leaves are totally limp and the aerial roots have no place to attach itself to or for it to grow well. So, this is one reason why many plants don't do well if they are not given a proper support system. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a simple DIY moss stick. So I have some moss here and a couple of stakes that we purchased from the hardware store. So with these things, these two simple things, it is really easy to make a beautiful moss stick for your indoor plants. We also need some twine and a pair of scissors. So let's begin. So here are a few plants that we have in our garden that have these moss sticks for support, and these were previously purchased from the garden center or the nursery. And you can see that these plants have these aerial roots, and aerial roots need the moisture so that these plants can grow really healthy. And attaching them to these moss sticks will really help these plants get that moisture that it is required, and it will grow well. So this moss stick that we made right now, we have placed it in a container in which I have planted a cutting of the monstera that I took from my parents' garden. So it hasn't yet started growing or giving out new leaves, but this will definitely help. And we have also made another small moss stick to attach to another syngonium cutting, which also I got when I went to my parents' house for vacation. Now, this is the pothos plant from our bedroom, and now I'm going to be removing the previous stake that was in the pot when we purchased it. So, this plant came with the stake and in the ceramic container. After we purchased it, we have never repotted the container, and it was growing pretty well, except when it reached towards the end of this moss pole, and then we saw that the leaves were not getting any sort of support and did not continue to grow well. And in spite of providing that string as a support, it still did not continue to do well. So that is when we decided that it required a new support or a moss pole. So here I am removing the older support pole and adding the new moss stick that we created for this particular plant. And it wasn't very easy to remove it because many of the aerial roots had gone deep into this moss stick, and it was really difficult for me to remove it. So I had to carefully cut it out and make sure that I didn't damage the plant while I was removing it. So, moss stick is a very important thing when we are gardening, especially with indoor plants like pothos, monstera, and philodendrons. So, they help these plants get the support that they require and provide moisture to their aerial roots and help these plants grow bigger leaves and look more beautiful. I hope you liked the tips that I shared in today's video. Please don't forget to support and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching Fresh from My Garden.